There's been a lot of talk about magnetic pole shifts in the past few months. And the reason why is a series of high-profile viral interviews that have been taking place, notably Tucker Carlson's show with Catherine Austin Fitts, who said that the U.S. government has spent somewhere around $21 trillion on deep underground military bases. She says they are fearing an extinction event of some sort, maybe a pole shift. Really interesting. Power outage in Puerto Rico. A power outage in Spain, Portugal, and France. Now, there's a lot of reasons why that may have happened. Sometimes the power goes out. The story at the time was that, and this is only a couple weeks ago, mind you, it was a high-altitude vibration of some sort, which triggered the frequency change. I don't exactly know what they were saying. I'm not one of those guys who studies this stuff. But they basically said an unusual atmospheric phenomenon caused a problem in the system, which triggered a failsafe, shutting the whole thing down. They had to reboot it. How does that happen? Well, I did an interview with a guy, Ben Davidson, and he said it's not that there's solar storms. It's that Earth's magnetosphere is weakening as a pole shift is about to occur. Now, according to mainstream science, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful to science. I'm not saying it's like wrong. I'm saying according to the official scientific understanding, pole shifts do happen. Not that big a deal. And it happens once every 800,000 years or so. However, there are people who believe that a pole shift will occur every 6,500 years, and along with it, the planet itself will spin. I have no idea, and I don't necessarily believe that. Don't know for sure. What I can tell you is we are increasingly getting more information about this, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. I bring up these prominent viral stories because that's the narrative people are sharing, and it's going viral, the Adam and Eve narrative, the concern over these deep underground military bases. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I have no idea. What I can say is there are numerous stories popping up about a pole shift occurring, the magnetosphere weakening, strange occurrences related to cell outages, solar storms, etc. This story from this morning. Major mobile network suffers massive outage in Spain weeks after electricity blackout. Why link those stories? I mean, the cell phone stopped working. Who cares? Well, we recently had a major solar flare, and they said it could disrupt communications, so maybe that's what's happening. Or, I had a conversation with Ben Davidson, and he's like the space weather guy, and he said it's not the solar flares. The magnetosphere above Spain has weakened a little bit, and this means normal solar activity is now penetrating closer to the surface of the Earth. Our magnetosphere is basically this big magnetic field around the Earth that repels solar dust and radiation and things like this. And if it weakens, more of that will hit the Earth where we are on the surface. I don't know that it's true, but here's the story. Independent reports. A nationwide phone network has shut down in Spain just weeks after blackouts brought chaos. Emergency services in a number of regions had to provide new telephone numbers to those in need after phone lines collapsed following network upgrades by Telefonica. Landline telephones were the worst affected, blah, blah, blah. Telefonica said, we have done some network upgrade work, which has affected some companies' fixed communication services. So let's just pause. You mean to tell me technical error and they're running this headline? You see the game they play? That's why I'm skeptical. That's why I am a skeptical person. Okay? When people start coming out and putting these headlines out there, I also want to add this. Do you believe them? That's the challenge. The challenge is if there really was going to be a major catastrophe related to a magnetic pole shift that like destroys life as we know it, maybe the Earth doesn't shift, but all our electronics are fried overnight. Would they tell you? I had an interview with Secretary Duffy, Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary. He handles aircraft, the waterways, the railways, the roads. People do not understand the importance of transportation because it's a crummy name. Secretary of Transportation, nobody cares. They want to know about defense and offense and war. And we put on interview requests, and I said, I want to talk to Duffy because the drone sightings, the plane crashes, the train derailments, they're saying there's drones in water, the UFOs. He's the guy. But it's crazy to me because people hear this and they're like, I don't care about transport. It like goes over their head. They don't care. Right now, everything that we're seeing is affecting our skies, our roads, our rails, our transportation. If there really is going to be something like this, it's going to be affecting all of these issues. And people ignore it. They want to hear about defense. Well, magnetic shield over North America is losing strength exceptionally fast, PLA scientists. I don't know that I trust China, mind you, but I have to wonder about what we're seeing and what's going on. The reason why I brought up Secretary Duffy is that he told me, as it pertained to the UAPs, UFOs, if we really knew what these were and it was something scary, it would freak people out. Do you really want to know? Yeah, I do. Here's the problem. If they told you the truth and it broke the economy, we're screwed. You know, I watch these movies, right? And then a meteor is going to hit the Earth, and they got to send a team of oil rig drillers to an asteroid to drill a bomb into it and blow it up. And then Ben Affleck famously is like, why not just teach astronauts to drill instead of drillers to be astronauts? Isn't that easier? And they're like, shut up. What would happen if we needed to build an ark or a bomb? Let's say the U.S. military says, whatever is happening with this disaster, we need everybody working 110% so we can build the tools we need to survive this. Now, let's go tell everybody the world is ending. What would happen? Bro, if you told everybody the world was ending, truck drivers would stop driving. People would stop working. They'd go and be with their loved ones. And it's crazy because you know what always bothered me? When I was younger, I'd be in like a skate contest, skateboarding, and I would get nervous. And nervous wasn't really, I don't know if it was the right word, because mentally I was prepared. But my heart rate would start going, and I'd be like, this is screwing me up. What is wrong with you, you stupid body? Stop freaking out. We know how to skate. We know what to do. We're going to do what we always do. But if you get nervous, we're going to screw it up. That's the same thing. We know what to do. We know how to do it. But if everybody knows and they panic and they stop doing what needs to be done, we can't accomplish what human beings have the capability to do. This is my concern about all these stories happening and them not telling us the truth because they're not going to. Millionaires and billionaires, they're building bunkers, deep underground bunkers. We know for a fact they're doing it. Why? I said it before, I'll say it again. If there was going to be a massive shockwave, solar storm or pole shift that's going to destroy our grid, cause massive flooding, what do we need? We need underground bases, and we need solar and wind electrical generation capabilities. There's not going to be any way to transport oil or pump it. Now, they can build pumps and have them ready to go. And there are probably areas that have that ready. But what if you're in an area that doesn't have access to oil? Wind. And the ability to put up those wind turbines and get that power generated quick. Solar as well. Hey, what have we been building like crazy? Ain't that something? This story is interesting. This is from a few months ago. China is claiming the North American magnetosphere is weakening. Really? I don't know, man. I don't know. Study finds, this is studyfinds.org. Earth's magnetic field once collapsed. Humans survived. Here's how. We got a force field. We have an actual force field. Now, at the poles is where it's weakest because the shields are going out, in all those other directions except for the poles. It's kind of crazy. They put it in 2 dimensions here, but in 3 dimensions, more like, a donut. Maybe not a donut, a pumpkin. Like a pumpkin. There you go. 41,000 years ago, Earth's magnetic field weakened to just 10%, causing auroras to appear globally. Do you guys remember when, let me find this. The aurora over West Virginia. October. Oh, this website's down. Come on. Here we go. WVVA. Yo, this was crazy. The aurora hits in areas where the magnetosphere is weak. And this is an image of the northern lights in West Virginia. West Virginia is not particularly north, In fact, West Virginia used to be part of a southern state, Virginia. So it's kind of in the middle. That was kind of crazy. But hey, sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes it happens. They say, during the Lasham's excursion, Earth's magnetic field weakened just 10% of its current strength, while the magnetic poles shifted dramatically away from the geographic poles. The excursion lasted 2,000 years. Using advanced computer modeling, research team reconstructed Earth's magnetosphere. Magnetic field also transformed from a simple north-south configuration to a complex arrangement with multiple magnetic poles scattered around the planet. Very interesting. Now, I don't know what that means or what's going to happen, man. Don't look at me. ScienceAlert.com says NASA is watching a huge growing anomaly in Earth's magnetic field from March of this year. What do I know, man? I'm just some dude who reads the stuff on the internet, and for all I know, ain't nothing to be worried about. A lot of people say, dude, these things happen all the time, and people are hyping it up to freak you out. Some people are hyper-focused on these things, and they believe it's happening because to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Maybe. I don't know. I don't just ignore things for that reason. And so for me, I got emergency food and water because sometimes it rains. You know? It's fascinating to me people don't prepare for the worst. Now, we don't have like Faraday cages set up or anything like that, but I do know people who have dug holes, lined it in, Faraday materials, metals that can absorb EMF, placed a microwave inside of it, because a microwave is also a Faraday cage, and then placed a laptop and a phone inside that microwave and then sealed it. The idea being they want to protect electronics in the event there is a solar storm that fries all of our components. It'll be interesting. You know, I ain't no scientist or nothing like that, but I just say a water-lined box, water absorbs and blocks EMF. Faraday cages, basically, it's a metal box, or you can make a Faraday suit, and so the currents travel through it and around it and not inside it. I have friends who actually do work with EMF, so they have Faraday cages for actual research purposes, not for doomsday purposes. And you have your phone out, you walk inside, phone stops working. It's pretty crazy. I asked my buddy, who has a massive Faraday cage you can walk inside, and I said, is this going to protect your gear if there's like a solar storm? He's like, no way. It's like, yeah, it can absorb a lot, but a massive solar storm and a weakening of the sphere is going to penetrate. Right? You would need like 3 layers. You would need a Faraday cage, a smaller Faraday cage floating inside, a smaller cage, and then a microwave in the middle with your stuff inside. Buried underground, and then put in a concrete block, put it in the ground, and then dump water all around it. Maybe then you'll protect it. Probably not. But it's interesting. What's interesting is this. Mobile network suffers massive outage in Spain weeks after electricity blackout. Why combine those? Simply, clickbait. I wouldn't have clicked on this story. People wouldn't, right? If they just said a mobile network did an upgrade and the phones went out, nobody cares. But then the question people are going to have is, do you believe them? Maybe the lines went out for some other reason. To be fair, other companies would have gone down as well, so probably just more hubbub. It's fun, though. You know, I got to admit, I don't want to be sensational on this story, but I really enjoy reading about this stuff because there's something about it that's just so fascinating. I'll leave it there. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all in the next segment.